Imagine Southeast Asia centuries ago. Thick jungles, meandering rivers, fertile plains, and towering mountains. Here, two powerful kingdoms emerged side by side. Myanmar, historically called Burma, a land of fierce warriors, ambitious kings, and disciplined armies. And Siam, a kingdom of rich soils, thriving trade, and bustling cities, known for its culture, art, and devotion to Buddhism. These kingdoms were neighbors, sharing borders, yet living in constant tension. Their story is not merely a tale of war, but of identity, survival, strategy, and diplomacy. It is a story about how geography, ambition, and human nature converged to shape history. Imagine two mighty rivers flowing toward the same delta. Sometimes their waters clash violently, flooding and reshaping the land. At other times, they merge quietly, sharing life and nourishment. Such is the story of Siam and Myanmar, at times devastating, at times enriching. This tale spans centuries of siege, diplomacy, cultural exchange, betrayal, and resilience. Ordinary people, farmers, artisans, monks, and merchants, experienced the shocks of war, famine, and migration, yet preserved traditions, cuisine, and rituals that continue today. Their courage and adaptability form the roots of modern Southeast Asia.
The first recorded clashes occurred in the 16th century. The Taungoo dynasty in Burma was expanding aggressively, seeking new territories, while Siam's Ayutthaya kingdom prospered as a hub of trade connecting China, India, Persia, and Europe. Conflict erupted along the Tenasserim coast, the river valleys, and jungle passes. Battles involved swords, spears, early muskets, and elephants trained for war. Soldiers waded through muddy rice paddies under torrential rain. Villagers fled to forests, leaving behind homes and rice stores, while traders risked river travel to maintain the flow of goods. Yet even amid violence, culture flowed. Burmese and Siamese artisans, monks, and scholars exchanged ideas. Temples in both lands adopted similar architectural elements. Scripts, religious texts, and artistic styles crossed borders. In a way, these wars were not only destructive, they were also formative, shaping military strategy, culture, and governance for centuries. Consider the analogy of fire and iron. War destroyed, but it also forged stronger identities, better strategies, and lasting cultural bonds.
The 18th century brought one of the darkest chapters in Siamese history. In 1765, the Burmese Konbaung dynasty launched a massive invasion, mobilizing tens of thousands of soldiers, elephants, and artillery. They marched through mountains, jungles, and rivers toward the glittering capital, Ayutthaya. For 14 months, the Burmese laid siege. Walls crumbled under bombardment, temples and palaces were set ablaze, famine and disease swept the city. Civilians endured unimaginable suffering. Ayutthaya, once a jewel of Southeast Asia, fell in 1767. Thousands were killed, enslaved, or forced to flee. Yet amid despair, General Thaksin emerged, rallying survivors and reclaiming lost territories. He moved the capital to Thonburi, demonstrating resilience and strategic brilliance. This episode shows the extremes of human experience: destruction and creation, despair and hope, chaos and order. Eyewitness accounts describe civilians hiding in temples, monks reciting prayers amid flames, and elephants trampling through streets filled with smoke, a haunting scene of history etched into memory.
After Ayutthaya's fall, Siamese resistance did not end. Thaksin led counterattacks into Burmese-occupied territories, employing guerrilla tactics, ambushes, and riverine warfare.
The jungles, rivers, and mountains became both shields and weapons. Villagers played critical roles, supplying intelligence, food, and shelter. Battles were fought not just with swords and muskets, but with cunning strategy and local knowledge. Siam learned from defeat, strengthening fortifications, improving logistics, and forming alliances with neighboring states. These years forged a resilient Siamese identity. Citizens and soldiers alike developed a shared sense of purpose. Survival depended on unity, intelligence, and adaptability. The kingdom learned that military strength alone could not secure survival. Strategy and foresight were equally crucial.
Even as armies clashed, diplomacy became a critical weapon. Siam and Burma sent envoys, arranged royal marriages, and negotiated treaties to maintain fragile peace. Leaders understood that war could destroy a kingdom, but diplomacy could preserve it. Each move was like a chess piece, sending envoys, building fortifications, training soldiers, all designed to anticipate the opponent's response and protect sovereignty. The Chakri dynasty stabilized Siam, allowing modernization and centralization of power. These diplomatic efforts prepared Siam for the next challenge, the arrival of European colonial powers, which would forever alter Southeast Asia.
The 19th century transformed the region. Britain colonized Burma, turning a historical rival into a British-administered territory. France expanded in Indochina, pressuring Siam from the east. Direct warfare between Siam and Burma decreased, but new challenges emerged. Siam modernized rapidly. Railways, military reforms, schools, and Western-style governance to resist colonization. Burmese resistance now confronted both foreign rule and local upheavals. Strategic thinking became as important as military power. Ancient rivalries influenced modern diplomacy, trade agreements, and border management. The centuries-long conflict left a legacy: military knowledge, cultural exchange, and border awareness that would guide both nations into the modern era.
Despite centuries of warfare, Siam and Burma influenced each other culturally. Burmese motifs appeared in Thai temples. Siamese goods reached Burmese markets. Music, literature, and cuisine crossed borders. Conflicts shaped but did not erase connection. Even amid wars, culture flowed like water through rocks, sometimes forcefully, sometimes gently. Art, religious practices, and social traditions were enriched, leaving enduring legacies visible in architecture, festivals, and daily life today.
The 20th century brought independence, nationalism, and modern states. Burma gained freedom from Britain in 1948. Siam became modern Thailand. Borders were formalized, shifting the nature of historical rivalry. Old conflicts became lessons in diplomacy, national defense, and border management. Military strategies were adapted, cultural memory preserved, and shared history acknowledged. People living along the border navigated old tensions alongside new economic and cultural opportunities. History informed both nations' modern political, military, and cultural identities. The Myanmar-Siam conflict teaches resilience, strategy, and the importance of cultural exchange. Wars shaped identities, forged leaders, and defined borders, yet they also preserved human connections, trade, and art. Today, Thailand and Myanmar are neighbors, sometimes tense, sometimes cooperative. Their shared history reminds us that conflicts are rarely purely destructive. They shape societies, create links, and leave enduring legacies that influence culture, governance, and identity.
From epic battles and burned cities to diplomacy and cultural exchange, the story of Myanmar and Siam is a testament to human resilience and adaptability. These kingdoms, shaped by geography and history, influenced Southeast Asia profoundly. History is not black and white. It is a tapestry of struggle, adaptation, and legacy. Understanding this story allows us to appreciate not only the past, but the enduring connections that define nations today. The rivers of war and culture, conflict and cooperation continue to flow through the lands once contested by these two mighty kingdoms.